Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining our live stream today. Today we have a super interesting and very timely topic, how to keep going in times of crisis. We will cover multiple things today, such as how to stay focused, how to identify your priorities, how to practice self-care, how to deal with anxiety, how to reach your goals, and many more. So to answer them, we actually invited a professional business coach, Kate Hatseva from Stanford. Hi, Kate.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here.
So nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And I would like to thank everyone for joining our live stream today. If you find this video or this topic useful, please share it with your friends, family, co-workers. We'll cover a lot of exciting things today. And obviously, since the topic is extremely important, extremely wide, we will not be able to cover everything in 1 hour. So if there are any questions that you want to ask us and our expert, please drop them in the live chat box. Okay, so let's start. First of all, I'd like to start our conversation today with a famous quote by Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States. He said, "Change is the only constant in life. One's ability to adapt to those changes will determine their success in life." So while it seems that people accept that change is inevitable, it does cause a lot of stress to all of us.
Of course.
So Kate, as a professional coach, what can you tell us about this? How can we deal with the stress that change causes?
Well, first of all, let's define what is crisis. Yeah, because it's very important to understand what's going on. And I was curious enough, and I started to Google the word crisis in Oxford Dictionary, and I found very exciting translation or explanation. What does it mean? So crisis, it's a time of intense difficulty, trouble, or danger. Or it's a time when a difficult or important decision must be made. So who likes to make decisions? I do think that a lot of people enjoy making decisions, especially if it's difficult, tough decisions. But we need to make those decisions. And we need to admit that and recognize that the future is unknowable and stability is just an illusion. And there's nothing more stable than instability. And that's why it's very hard to make any kind of decisions. And we are humans, we have a unique ability to envision our future and make plans, different plans, like for 5 years from now, for tomorrow, for a couple of hours from now. But we have different expectations about the results we want to achieve. And in today's constantly changing world, it's essential to be flexible and agile. So you have to have this ability to be an agile person and also to make decisions. And people don't like changes. You was asking me about the changes, why it's caused a lot of stress. And people resist changes because we are created this way. And we simply want to stay in a stable state in order to function properly. Well, it's in our cells. That's how we made. And it's in our physiology and this stage called homeostasis, I'm sorry. So most people, they just avoid changes and they have their own motives. Probably they are very comfortable in the place where are they right now, or they just afraid to fail, or there's many other reasons why they resist changes. But the truth is that we can't control the world, and there's only several things what we actually can control.
Thank you, Kate. So let's get back to what we can control. Can you define what we can control as humans, and what are the steps how to overcome stress and how to keep going and keep developing in times of crisis?
Sure. Well, in coaching, we are using this model. It's called thoughts, words, and action. And that's what we actually can control. And I also want to add one more component to this chain, to this model: environment. We also can control, well, not control, but we can set environment in order to help ourselves to make decisions and to function properly. So by what we can control, thoughts and words, thought is what actually going on in our brain, like in our head. And it affects what kind of words, what kind of stories we are telling to ourselves. And thoughts and words, it affect our emotional stage. And emotional stage affects what kind of action we are doing or not doing. So it's very important to work on your mindset. And that's what actually you can control. You can control your mindset, and you can create a proper environment and proper attitude in order to help yourself to deal with the changes, to deal with the crisis.
So can you give us an example? So let's say, someone under a lot of stress, obviously has to stabilize their well-being before they can take any actions.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example of what specific steps can a person take to do that?
Well, I can share my personal example, for example, with a live stream. You were so kind and invite me to do this live stream, to join your conversation. And for me, it's a crisis. It's a lot of pressure. I have never done it before, and it's a huge leap of trust to myself, whether I can do it or not. So in order to do that, I embrace this crisis, and I start to prepare myself to this change in mindset, that actually I can do that. So what was in my head, like what thoughts was in my head? Like, I was scared, to be honest, because going live, it's a challenge. It's a small crisis for me, but for somebody who is doing it, like probably you professionally on a daily basis, it's like a piece of cake. Like, well, I will do it anytime, day and night. But for people like me who never done it before, like, it's a lot of stress. So there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of thinking in my head, like, can I do it? Like, how can I do it? I have never done it before. And all these thoughts affected my words, what I'm actually telling to myself. Like, I'm not a professional blogger. I'm not a professional live streamer. I have no experience. I don't know how to speak in English, because English is my second, third, fourth language, and it's hard to put words in a beautiful sentences. So all these kind of words, all these kind of stories I was telling to myself. And when you start to realize what's going on in your head, at this point, you can start to change your attitude. So if I will continue telling to myself, I'm not a blogger, I can't do that, it's too hard, it's too scary, I will not do anything. So I will just quit this idea, and I will tell you, Vera, thank you so much. Maybe next time, maybe in a year, maybe like whatever, like never. But if I will change my way of thinking, my mindset, okay, I'm learning. I'm not an expert yet, but it's a good opportunity for me to learn. It's a good opportunity for me to grow. It's not that scary as it may look. I just need more practice. That's why I started to prepare myself 2 weeks in advance, and I started to practice live streaming, go live on my YouTube channel. And I did 2 live streams, and now I feel more comfortable. I know that it's not that scary as I thought. So you just need to work on your mindset and approach any crisis, any big change as an opportunity, because you will never be the same. It's your choice, like what you actually can do with the opportunity that goes to you. You can skip it, or you can make something great with that. So everything starts with your with your thoughts.
Are there any tips maybe that you can give to someone else who is worried, let's say ahead of an important presentation or maybe job interview, how to set up your mindset?
Of course, it's very important to work with your mindset, and it raises a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure. And we have certain expectations from ourselves Of course, we want to do our best. Of course, we want to do it great. Of course, we want to shine on the stage and do everything right. And all these expectations, they put a lot of pressure on us. So when you will learn how to tolerate your mistakes, when you will learn how to give more humor, how to give more like a light attitude, when you will learn how to approach any opportunity with ease, so it makes a huge difference. When you're not that serious about yourself, when you just approaching this situation like, okay, I'm just learning, like what I can do. And of course, you need to be very open-minded. And all these voices in your head, all these judgments about yourself that I need to be the best, you don't need to be the best. You just need to try the best with the circumstances you have, with the environment you have, with the resources you have. So just try to do whatever you can do with all these resources you have.
That's actually a great advice. So I think if we summarize this point, the only way out of fear and out of stress is right through it, right? So basically,
Yeah.
you have to embrace whatever challenges you to move to the next step.
Yeah, and of course, work with your expectation, because you want to be perfect, but you can just try and learn your way through it.
Yeah, that's actually a great suggestion. So that brings me to my next question. Both of us are based in Silicon Valley, and there is a quite popular slogan, fail fast, right?
Yeah.
And while a lot of startup founders in Silicon Valley and in California in general, they do get it, it might sound quite wild for the rest of the world. Sometimes it's hard to understand, why do you need to fail and why do you need to accept a failure if you want to be a successful person? So that's a mental challenge for a lot of people that I think also stops them from developing. So as a business coach, can you give us some guidelines? If someone is afraid of failure and just doesn't act because of it, what can this person do?
Well, the first very important things you need to understand that failure, it's not a person. It's not about you. Failure is just an event. So you need to approach failure as an opportunity to learn. So you don't need to take personally what happened. You just need to distill the lessons from this event and apply all this experience, all this knowledge you learn about like what happened, and move on. Like let it go first. What happened. Take all the lessons you've learned and move on, and just try to improve your next steps and apply all this knowledge to your future decisions. So that's the main point of failure fast. So failure fast means learn faster. So try more things, try your hypothesis, try new strategies, try new ideas, because only from actually doing something rather than overthinking, like, oh, let's do that, maybe this, maybe the other things. And you can stuck in these thoughts and you will never do anything because you're just overthinking. And here in Silicon Valley, you just need to try something. You just need to start doing something, and you will learn faster by doing your mistakes. And the most important, you need to distill lessons from these mistakes, because you can't do the same mistakes all the time. You just learning faster when you're failing.
So basically, failure, it's like another step to success.
Exactly.
That's how we should see it.
Yeah, you're just one step forward to your goals.
And I think you actually brought up a very, very important point that I think a lot of people miss. That failure is not a person, it's just an event. So whenever someone fails, it's not because he or she is bad or not talented. It just happens. It's a nature of life, right?
Yeah, it's natural things. And just imagine kids that refuse to walk because they fail so many times and like, no, it's too dangerous. I'm not going to walk ever again.
Yeah, by the way, I think history has plenty of examples of people who failed multiple times, including Walt Disney and Thomas Edison before he actually invented a light bulb. And I think if those people were just afraid to fail,
Yeah,
we wouldn't have electricity today, right? We wouldn't be driving cars. A lot of things just
was
wouldn't happen.
invented by mistake. Yeah.
Yes, so success is created by mistakes. That's actually a great statement. Okay, so my next question, when we were preparing for this event, we got a lot of feedback from fellow business owners and startup founders, and just people in general, because everyone, or should I say the majority, are suffering from a thing that's called burnout.
Oh,
Whether
yeah.
it's a burnout at your job, a burnout with your business, even in family, in relationships. So how should we deal with the burnout? What are specific steps and techniques that you could recommend?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And here in Silicon Valley, it's so I don't know, common. And there's a very good book about managing your energy rather than manage your time. There's a book about time management, and the main idea is you need to manage your energy. And when you're burned out, you have no energy at all. You're at your lowest point. You even don't know what you want. You have no desires. You just want to lie on the sofa, do nothing, look at the ceiling, and you even don't have energy to think. And it's very dangerous. It's even worse than being depressed, because when you're depressed, you at least can do some actions. But when you burn out, it's just like, that's it. So it's very important to learn how to manage your energy. And you can be productive only when you have a lot of energy, when you are in a calm, in a positive state. And it's very important to take care of yourself. And this is the most important stage you need to focus on. And every successful leaders, they know that most of the time they need to be in a positive and a relaxed stage when they are rested, when they are rested well, when they took care of their basic needs, and only like when they fulfilled, when they have a lot of resources, they actually can be productive. They actually can make strong, tough decisions. They can do some, like they can achieve some ambition goals. But most of the people, they are in a very like stressed zone when they want to achieve everything in 1 week, in 1 year, and they set like unrealistic goals for themselves. And they think that, well, sleep is for losers. I'm not gonna sleep until I will work like, at least I'll achieve everything I want to achieve. And they put themselves in this very stressful situation. And when they are moving that fast without resting properly, it's very easy to go to the burnout zone, to be like completely burned out. So the first step you need to do is take care of yourself. Think about yourself. You need to be your number one fan. Like, eat properly, sleep properly, do exercises, meditate, take care of your mental health, of your like health in general. And that's what you need to be focused on. Like, if you feel that that's it, you need just rest. But rest, invest time, because there's nothing more important than your health.
And from your health also comes success. Because if you are not able to perform just physically because you're tired, you're experiencing burnout, you won't be able to achieve anything. That's the point. I agree. I actually really like your line about being your number one fan. It sounds like an awesome headline. If I would be writing an article about our live stream, I would probably use it. So yeah, a lot of people, especially business owners, startup founders, but not only them, just people who also work at like regular jobs, or everyone experience burnout at least once in their life. And you brought up a pretty good point that you have to put yourself first, because at the state of burnout, you wouldn't be able to achieve anything. So basically, you have to make yourself make sure that you have some rest before you do something else. That's a good point. A lot of people basically get trapped in this condition when they work, and they feel if they take some rest or like some short vacation, they would lose some progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is some type of mental trap, we can call it like this. So how would you recommend to pull yourself out of this trap?
Yeah, it's also called like FOMO, fear of missing out. When I'm gonna sleep extra hour, something gonna happen and I will miss it.
Right.
Yeah, that's very, very hard to deal with this syndrome living in Silicon Valley, because there's so many interesting events going on daily basis. And even for me, like living in San Francisco, sometimes I just feel trapped because I want to like go to any networking event to meet all these incredible people, to learn all their stories, but I can't, because first I need to be my number one fan. I need to manage my energy, and I don't have enough energy to visit all these events. How to deal with this? You need to know your priorities. What's important for you? If you go into this event, like what are you expecting to achieve from this event? If you go to, I don't know, to talk to some people, like what do you actually want to achieve from this meeting? You always need to know your priorities. And if it doesn't match with your goals you want to achieve in the nearest future or in the long run, or if it doesn't meet with your expectations, then just don't go. You're not gonna miss it. Like you just need to know what you want. Like what do you want?
Right. You actually brought up an excellent point, and I believe we also get our very first question in the live chat exactly about this point, about prioritizing. So Ludmila is asking, how can we accomplish everything that we have planned for the day? That's a very good question. I think everyone's asking it. Yeah. And how to prioritize. So it's kind of easy to say, prioritize something that aligns with your goals, but how do we actually do it? How do we pick what fits us best in this particular moment?
Yeah, it's very hard, especially in times of crisis, because everything looks very important equally. So it's very hard to choose like what actually is more important, because everything looks very important, even those small tasks you need to do, but you actually don't need to do them. And the good way to like prioritize, well, this is my personal life hack, what I'm doing when I'm under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, and I need to be productive. I still need to focus on achieving my goals. Every morning I sit down and journaling. Like this is very simple, and everybody knows about it, but nobody's doing actually. So what I'm doing, I'm just sitting down and I'm writing everything what's in my head, like everything. Sometimes I even don't know from where to start, and I'm starting like this. I don't know what to write about, like what's going on in my head, why I'm so confused, why I'm so anxious. So just by starting writing, but it's important to actually write with an actual pen in a beautiful, maybe just on a piece of paper, doesn't matter. You just need to write it, because some magical process going on. Somehow there is more clarity, more structure in your head, and it becomes more obvious for you what you actually need to do today. And after you writing down everything what's going on in your head, you can pick up to 3. Well, if it's super busy, super crazy day, just pick just one thing you want to accomplish today and focus on this goal first. So forget about all these small destructive tasks you need to do, like to call someone, replying emails. If you need to do a report, start to do this report. If you need to make important call you was postponing for a couple of days, just call to this person. Or if you need to make a strong, tough decision you don't want to think about, just take your time and do that. But you just have to do that. And sometimes all these tough, strong decisions you need to make, they are most like postponed, like maybe later, I don't have enough energy for this. Like, let me first do small things. Like I will like warm up a little bit by doing something not important, but actually you're spending a lot of energy on doing that. And when I'm giving presentation in my leadership class at Stanford, there's a course about how we're making decisions. And in average, we are making 35,000 decisions per day, and 200 from those decisions only about food, like should I eat it, should I drink water, what kind of water, like should I add salt, not. So 200 decisions just about food, and in general 35,000 decisions we are making daily. So you need to help yourself to make those decisions. You need to set up an environment when you don't need to spend energy on making those small decisions. So you can be focused on the things you need to do during the day if you will create a proper environment for yourself, if you will not be distracted by all the small things you need to do during the day, and you can focus on the task you actually need to do, on actually what's important, on actually what matters. So first things first, create an environment that will help you to stay focused, to stay productive, and probably think in advance, like what kind of environment will help you to make those decisions. But how to set up priority, that's a very important question, very big question. You need to think about the consequences of your decisions, what kind of impact those decisions will make, not only on you, but on the people also who depends on you. So thinking about the decisions, what you are making, or not making, what kind of impact it will make in your long run in your life.
So in other words, let's say we have a big to-do list with super important things, things of medium importance, and not important things. So you recommend to start with the most important things.
It's super important, yeah.
Okay.
Because you will just run out of energy when you will finish like 3 not important. You already will be tired, and you will think, okay, tomorrow.
This is actually a perfect point. And I think that it also solves another challenge. You know, a lot of times we feel stressed when we anticipate a change or we anticipate some type of challenge. And as we mentioned in the beginning of the live stream, the only way out of fear or out of crisis is right through it, right? You have to embrace the challenge to overcome it. So that totally makes sense. Prioritize the most important and a lot of times the most difficult task in the very beginning of your day. And we also have, I think, a very good question from one of the participants in the live chat from Mark. So how does a person define his or her goals? What can you recommend?
How to define your goals? That's a very good question. First, you need to know what do you really want to achieve in this life and try to envision how does it look for you? Like, how do you want to feel yourself? Like, what you actually want to achieve as a person. But I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you asking about the process, how to set up goals, or?
Right. So let's say, as far as I understand this question, but if Mark wants to add something or maybe rephrase it, he can also do that. But as I understand this question, so let's say you have, like you live your life, right? And you're trying to accomplish a number of things. How do you prioritize what you want to accomplish, and how do you define your goals? Because I actually agree, a lot of times it's challenging for people to understand what they want and what are the goals they have to follow.
Yeah, That's a very tricky question. And as a coach, I would ask what kind of person you would like to be. Like, how do you see yourself in the future? And based on this picture, based on your vision, you can set up different goals. For example, if I want to be a professional YouTuber, or I want to be, I don't know, professional person who conduct live streams, everything is clear. Like, how would I feel myself? Like, I would like to feel myself confident. I would like to be able to speak like on a huge audience, no matter like where I am. So this requires a different set of skills I need to achieve these goals. And for example, I need to improve my public speaking skills. I need to improve my English. I need to like be prepared for tricky situation, for tricky questions, and when I don't know how to reply on those questions. So I need to understand what kind of skills I need to achieve. I need to have to achieve these goals. So, and it becomes easier. Okay, I need to improve that. I need to like buy this course, or I need to talk to this person to understand how it works, or I need to try like several times to go live, and it will give me more confidence, and I will feel better doing this live stream. So you just need to think what kind of person you would like to be and what you want to achieve. And like based on this big vision, you can start to envision like all these small details you need, all these resources you need to have in order to achieve your goal. So everything starts with a vision.
Yeah, I think we also got another question from Mark. So what's your process of writing and forming your goals? That's a great question.
Yeah, in coaching, we also have this very interesting like model or strategy how to achieve like any goal you want to achieve. Again, everything starts with the vision, like what you actually want to achieve. And then you start to think, okay, what kind of resources do I have or do not have? So for example, I want to be like a professional YouTuber, and I start to analyze like what resources do I have? Okay, I have cell phone, I have camera, I have internet, I have voice, I can talk. Like what kind of resources I don't have? Like I don't know how to behave in front of the camera. I don't know how to actually set up live stream. I don't know how all these technical details. Okay, so it's already like obvious, like what with what I need to work. Then you need to start on the barriers, like what can stop me from achieving my results. And I think, okay, I'm too anxious, or I don't know how to talk to the audience. And you already understand, okay, those are barriers that can hold me from achieving my dreams. And only after analyzing your resources, what you have, what you don't have, only after realizing what barriers can hold you from achieving your vision, you start to work on the strategy, actually on how you can achieve what you want to achieve. And it's very important to have this like milestones, like how you're gonna measure your success, because we can create this strategy and we can go forward and never actually like look at our strategy if we are going in the right direction, if we are doing great. So just define like every couple of weeks, probably, like it depends on the person how often he needs to check with his compass if he's going to the right direction, and if it's needed you need to adjust your strategy. So that's like one model how to set up goals. So start with a vision, what you want to achieve, then think about resources, then define barriers, and only after that create a strategy, like how you're gonna do that. Because we are very tempted from creating a vision, go to strategy immediately, but it doesn't work that way, because you don't know all these underlying beliefs, all these patterns, all these behaviors then can stop you from achieving your best results.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, a great step-by-step plan that you described. Mark, please let us know in the chat if that answered your question, or if you have any other questions, please let us know. I also would like to remind everyone, every viewer of our live stream has an opportunity to ask questions live while we have Kate here, and she's a professional business coach from Stanford. So she is the person to address your concerns about your goals, stress, anxiety, how to keep going in times of crisis in general. And I want to ask you something else. So in our live chat, there was a reference made to Steve Jobs, and actually Steve Jobs is one of those people who like to bring up one thing. So whenever you try to accomplish something, you envision the end result first, and then you go backwards, because only this way you can kind of understand what steps you should take only when you see your end goal, like when you already have your vision in place. So would you agree with this statement?
I would agree, because for me, Steve Jobs, he's a great visionary. He has incredible mind. He's the one who can who could analyze trends, and he can like create these crazy, ambitious ideas. And he was the only one who could make it happen. Of course, he wasn't doing everything by himself. He had a huge team who worked for him. And there's a lot of like talks about him as a person, but of course he was a genius. Like nobody can like compare probably with him, and he's a great source of inspiration. He was a great example of being visionary. And Elon Musk also, he's a great visionary. Sometimes people think that he's like it's too much, like it's too crazy, but only if you have like super ambitious ideas, you will find a way how to make it happen.
Yeah, Mark also added the vision involves reverse engineering. The person sees something and finds a way to achieve it. I totally agree with the statement.
Yeah.
And speaking of innovation in general, a lot of times we just can't achieve something if we go from the very beginning. A lot of times we really have to envision the end goal, because it might not exist yet, right? What is innovation? It's innovating or creating something that does not exist. So there is nothing we can compare it to. Okay, so my next question is also a very important one. Obviously, there is a lot of stress that people have to go through right now. There is crisis, inflation, war, you name it. There are a lot of issues, a lot of difficult events we have to go through right now, you know, as a global population, as every individual human being. So how would you recommend to deal with anxiety, and what are the best and the most effective ways to overcome it and to still succeed even while you are under a lot of stress?
It very depends on the situation. Again, in every particular situation, there should be a way how to deal with anxiety. For example, me being super anxious before going live, it's one thing. So I just can breathe. I can change focus from my body, what's going on with my body, from my head. Like I was like, oh, I'm going live. It's too much. I'm very anxious. So I'm changing focus from what's going on in my head on my body. I'll just breathe. I will just try to keep calm. I probably will like smell something good, because for me, aromatherapy, it's a great source of dealing with a lot of different things. So probably I will smell like rosemary or lavender or something. So it really depends on the situation. But if there's something more difficult, if there's something more stressful, where you have never been in a situation like this, when you need to make hard, tough decisions, of course, it's another skill set you need to have. I think that working on your mindset, on being open and just allow yourself to make mistakes, it really helps to deal with anxiety. And probably just allowing yourself, just trust to yourself. That's the most important thing. When you trust yourself on this level, that you believe that you are doing the best possible in the circumstances you are, with the resources you have. So trust to yourself that you are doing the maximum, that you're doing the best, and just try to keep moving forward.
Yeah, we actually, that makes sense. I think that's another great point about trusting yourself. And I think I would also add that I think it's also important not to over criticize yourself if something does not go to their original plan, right? According to the original plan, because life, the only stable thing in life, the only constant thing in life is change. That's something that we have figured out. So we also have another great question from Mark, and this is personal question to you, Kate. What are a couple of your struggles which taught you a lesson?
Oof. Well, I hate changes. That's obvious, probably, I don't know. But okay, there's one very important lesson I've learned over the couple of years. 3 years ago, I moved from Belarus to Mexico, and I speak a little bit of Spanish because in my school we had 2 foreign languages, English and Spanish. So I had like basic level. I could explain myself. I can ask, I can maintain like basic conversation. But I didn't spend that year improving my Spanish. I was speaking all the time English because for me it was so hard to look funny that somebody will judge me. Oh, she don't know how to speak Spanish. Like, why is she even trying? Let's speak English with her, so it's easier for her. Like, let's do this favor to her. So in this year, I didn't improve my Spanish at all. So when I moved from Mexico to the United States, I understood that it was a huge mistake because I could learn Spanish in 1 year, like to advanced level, but I didn't do that. So when I moved to the US, I thought that it should be absolutely another experience. And I started to look for the opportunity for me to speak English with Americans, with the local people. So I was looking for ways to volunteer, like how I can actually do that. And at this time, I decided it doesn't matter if I will look funny, I'm just learning. So I embraced this mindset that I don't care what people think about me. I'm very focused on what I want to achieve. I want to learn English. That's my main goal. I will be brave, I will be courageous, I will ask more questions, I will clarify, I will do my best. And it helps me a lot to find a lot of great opportunities, a lot of great friends. We're still friends with those people. I'm still volunteering in those organizations. And I'm having more and more responsibilities. And this attitude of I'm just doing my best in these circumstances I have. I'm just learning. I'm not afraid to fail. I don't afraid to look funny. I have my goals, I have my priorities, and I'm focusing on that and not on what other people are thinking about me. Of course, it's important what they think, but it's more important what I think about myself.
Yeah. Actually, there is a great statement by Coco Chanel. I don't remember the exact quote, but essentially she said, I don't care what you think about me because I don't think about you at all. So it might sound a little bit too straightforward, too controversial. I mean, we still live in a community. We have to care what our friends and family and colleagues and our loved ones think. But at the same time, it's all about you first. Like, you have to be your #1 fan in order to help other people, right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing that I think a lot of us miss, and sometimes we don't get it or don't practice it because we might feel that this is not necessarily like this is a selfish thing to do. But another example that I like to bring up in these conversations, especially when, for example, I have a friend that's suffering from a burnout or from a lot of stress, Like, remember when you are on the airplane, you should always put your mask first and then help others. Not because you are selfish, but because you would not be able to help others if you are not in a good place yourself. So I think we should try to reframe our mind, in order to basically come to this understanding. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have. Okay, great question actually came to us in advance. Self-care. We talked a lot about the struggles of life under stress, but how do we practice self-care? Not a lot of people can afford, let's say, to take a months-long vacation from everything, turn off the phone, and go to the ocean. But how do we practice self-care when we are short on time and when we have a lot of things that we have to do right now?
Yeah, I totally understand. Especially for women, it's very hard to take care of themselves when they have a lot of other people to take care of. And first thing you need to do is just to allow yourself to have time for yourself. Just do it. So important. Just make it your priority. And you need to find, even to book probably in your busy schedule, when you're going to take care of yourself. If it's early morning, just accommodate this time in your busy schedule. Just have this 10-15 minutes of quiet time. Just grab your cup of coffee or tea and just sit down with your thoughts. Just find the time for yourself, because it's very important for us to find this quiet time to be with ourselves, with our own thoughts, because we are so overloaded with information, with other people requests. Everybody wants something from us all the time, and we just have no time for ourselves. So the first very important thing, just to find time in your busy schedule for taking care of yourself. And it doesn't need to be something expensive, like going to spa or going to vacation, or I don't know, going to a retreat center. Just by finding time for yourself, it's already a huge step in taking care of yourself. And these quiet times, it's super important, because again, so many noise around, so you just need to find this space for yourself. And the easiest way to do that is just to to make a small rituals for yourself. Probably it's something you're doing in the morning only for yourself. Maybe it's something you're doing in the evening before going to sleep. Just find those pleasant things that can help give you joy and happiness and just the peace of mind. It doesn't need to be something fancy or expensive. It's just giving time to yourself. Be with yourself.
Time to yourself. This is extremely important. And I actually want to share some of my personal experience and also experience of other business owners and startup founders. A lot of times our schedule gets so busy during the day that even if we wanted to take a break, we are just not able to afford it, to spend this time outside of work, outside of our meetings. So one of the things that can be done is just to wake up an hour earlier. And a lot of people say that, this is the quietest, the earliest time in your day is the most productive one. Because when you are, let's say when you wake up, not at 7 a.m., but at 6 a.m., this hour between 6 and 7, you will be bothered by no one. Because not a lot of people wake up in this hour, right? But this is an opportunity for you to think about your day, to plan your day, to think what tasks you should prioritize. And this is something that I personally practice a lot. And this is something that a lot of my fellow startup founders and business owners do. So this is just one of my personal experiences.
That's so true. That's what I'm trying to do the last weeks.
Mhm.
I'm trying to do the first important things early in the morning. I wake up at 6. I'm going to the gym because working on my health, this is my priority. This is my number one goal on the current moment. And
Mhm.
I was trying to do this early, later in the evening, like around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I was going to the gym, and it was so hard for me. So I decided, okay, this is number one for me. This is my priority. I will do it early in the morning. And after that,
Makes sense.
yeah, I will do the rest.
Yeah. Plus, you still have a lot of energy. I mean, after a busy day at work,
Yeah.
going to the gym, I know it's not always possible for many people. Um, And the only thing I would also like to add is that actually a lot of famous celebrities and also famous business people actually practice waking up early, not even at 6, as early as 4 a.m. And they lead a very productive life. Whether or not this is the right approach for everyone, of course, it depends. But a lot of people who achieve something in life do it. So at least we can take a note and try to practice it in the best way we can.
Yeah, just learn from your own experience. And I was listening for one podcast, I don't remember, a couple of weeks ago, and there was one very interesting phrase that I want to share with you, that people, they want to learn from other people's experience, from the movies, from the books, from the podcasts, from the live streams, but they resist to learn from themselves. But who knows better than you what's better for you? So you just need to learn from your own experience, and you need to be able to analyze what's going on with you, with your body, with your mind. So you are the best source of learning. So learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to repeat your statement in the beginning of this live stream. You have to be your number one fan.
Yeah.
That's important. Okay, so we also have 2 more questions from Mark. And again, Kate, these are more personal questions, but I think great ones. What is one of your memorable achievements?
Well, recent achievements, probably. I'm volunteering at the Community Committee for International Students at Stanford. And I was volunteering there just as a regular volunteer. I was helping with one of the program. And then they started to give me more responsibilities. Then I applied for a position of vice president. And this year I became a president of a community of local people who lives at Stanford for years, who was born there, who was graduated from Stanford, who spent all their career somewhere around working in startups, who lived all their life. So I am the youngest president ever in all the history of this organization. It's almost 70 years old. This organization almost 70 years old. So it's very old and famous, well-established organization. And I am not from the community. I am not local. English is my second language. I am the youngest representative of the entire board of directors. And I think for me, it's an achievement. And I remind to myself that I am the one who made it happen. And you can be anything you want in your life. It just the matter of in what you trust, in what you believe, and everything is possible. Like sky is the limit. So for me, it's incredible.
Those are great words. And I think that I can also relate to your statement because, if I'm not mistaken, you relocated to the US only 3 years ago, right? Yeah. And in Belarus, you used to work in tech.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you worked at EPAM, right?
Yeah, as human resource business partner.
Yeah. So this is obviously world famous company, and you have your whole career in Belarus, and you decided to relocate here. You did not have, friends. You did not have business reputation that you had over there, but still you took this leap of faith and you did it. So that's an achievement just by itself. And Mark also asked you another question.
Okay, Mark.
Also great question, also personal one.
Okay.
What is one of your memorable failures? That's an awesome question.
Oh God, there's so many from which to start.
The best of the worst.
The funniest one. This is like a kind of behavioral question they always ask you on the interview. Well, let me think about. Very hard because I want to look so perfect, especially on the live stream. I don't want to share it public. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to remember which one to share. It's a very hard one. Probably I will share it in the comments below this live stream. I promise I will remember one and I will share it publicly so it will not be that embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, failure is not embarrassing.
It's still very hard to talk about. Yeah.
Right, but I think we have to talk about it anyways. So that's a great point that you brought up in the very beginning of our live stream. Failure is not personal. Yeah. If someone fails, it says nothing about the person. It's just an event that happened.
Yeah.
And failure happens to the best and most talented people. In fact, failure is one of the steps to success. If you, someone who, I think there is no person who has not failed at least once in their life. And generally, if someone is not failing in business or at work, it means this person is just really, doing nothing. And that's the reason why they're not failing. So, okay, Kate, we'll be waiting for your
I just remember.
story.
I just wanted to share it with Mark that I know why it's very hard for me to remind any failure, because I don't think about this as a failure anymore. For me, it's opportunity to learn. For example, this Monday, we 2 days ago, we host our first hybrid mode meeting at Stanford. And usually we have in-person meeting in a huge room, like for 25 people. And this time, because a lot of board members couldn't join the meeting, I decided to bring this innovation and experiment with a hybrid mode. So I was the one who suggested, okay, let's connect over Zoom, and there is a huge TV screen, so we can connect my laptop to this screen and everything will work fine. So that's how I remember it working in EPAM when we host these hybrid mode meetings. So I suggest this idea and I was in panic because I don't know how it works. I didn't know how to connect all these cables, if the Wi-Fi will be good, if they're how all these technical details. And we did it, but the sound was so bad, so people couldn't hear what's going on the another side of the table. And I don't think about this as a failure, that I failed this event. I think about it as an opportunity to learn, that next time I need to think in advance about the sound quality, that I put this Jabra or this speaker in the center of the table and we will try one more time, how it's gonna work. If it's not working, then we're gonna try again with another solution. So probably I already have this mindset that I don't think about this as a failure and as something personal, because, for example, a couple of years ago, I will take it so seriously. I will take it so personal, oh God, what I did, what a failure I am. I'm not gonna do it anymore again. Why suggest this this opportunity, this option? But now it's just an opportunity for me to learn, just to make it better. Probably that's why it's hard to think about this as a failure.
Yeah, we get another comment in the live chat. Thank you for sharing your interesting and challenging times. Everyone faces failures.
Exactly.
And just to summarize our live stream today, we had only about an hour, and obviously this is such a huge topic that it's just impossible to cover it in just 1 hour. But if there are any questions that we were not able to answer, and any questions that bother any of our viewers, please ask them in the comments down below. We will make sure to get back to you. We will also be holding webinars and live streams like that on a regular basis. Next time, we will make sure to announce it in advance so more people can join and more people can send their questions in advance. So if you find this video informative, if you find it useful and helpful, please share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Let's grow this community together. We are Belarusian Business Association, but obviously it's not only about Belarusians, it's about everyone. And community is extremely important for us. So if there is any topic that you'd like us to cover, please write your comment. Let us know what you'd like to know, what you'd like to discuss, and we'll make sure to do an event on this topic. We will also include links to our website and other social media channels in the description in this video. So make sure to check it out, subscribe to our YouTube channel to always stay informed and stay tuned with our events and live streams. Participate in the community. If you need any help, please feel free to reach out. Would be happy to help, either with a contact, with an advice, basically anything you need. And we will also include links to YouTube channels of Kate. Kate has a lot of great information there, so make sure to check them out as well and subscribe. And again, it was a pleasure having you here, Kate. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much to everyone who joined our live stream. It's not an easy task to do it in the middle of the day. And I'm sure a lot of people will watch it in the recording, but of course, when it's live, it's live. It's live participation that I think is the best. So again, if you find this video useful, please share it with your family and friends. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our social media channels. We're on Telegram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we're everywhere. And make sure to check out Kate's channels on YouTube. We'll also include all the links in the description box down below. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for your questions, and especially Mark, thank you for your personal questions. And let's discuss more topics, more questions in the comments.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
So
Thanks,
stay
everyone.
tuned. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.